Hey guys, got this Nissan Pathfinder here. It's a 98, and I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and show you what it's doing. So here I start it up, starts up just fine. I'm starting it up cold. Now the thing is, when you put it in gear, you can hear the air's kicking on, the engine's running fine. Let me turn the air off so you can really hear the motor. You can hear the motor. Now, put it in drive, dies. Okay, park. Starts up a little rough after it does that. So now I'll try to put it in drive again. Dies. So I'm gonna let it warm up so I can move it onto the ramps. Okay, just to kind of show you here too, I'll try it in reverse. Same thing, dies. Back in park. Okay, you can see it run. So I let it warm up for about 5 minutes. And it runs. But I need to fix that problem. All right, for changing this fluid, first thing I did is make sure that the dipstick pulls out just fine, because sometimes these get stuck. So this thing pulls out just fine, and I'll be able to refill it down here no problem when the time comes. Okay, I got this baby up on ramps, and I got a tarp put down at the ground. Okay, there's the pan right there. So it's got 18 bolts on it. And then this is a 19 millimeter, so I'm gonna loosen this nut here, and I'm gonna drain it. Put a glove on, just to minimize the amount of hand washing I gotta do. Make sure I got that underneath it. There we go. All right, for getting this thing off, it's pretty accessible. These bolts, they're 10 millimeter. This is what we're gonna remove. But here we gotta get rid of these here first. So it's kind of getting in our way of this bolt here. So we'll have to get these done. This is also 10 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and start taking these two things off. Came loose pretty good, got lucky on that one. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, I'll take those out. Little Parks bucket going here. And then that's just about done draining there. Cap that. Okay, now I'll go ahead and start loosening all these bolts up around here. Starting with the two hardest ones that were up behind this piece there. Okay, I'm just going around and removing all these. What I'm going to try to avoid is I'm going to leave a couple in so it doesn't drop on me, and just kind of slowly work those out with one hand while I'm using pressure to push up on this, just so it doesn't drop it and fall on the ground. So these little guys here, where this line goes across, these little guys just pop off of there like that. So that way it'll give more room for this plate or the pan to install. Just making my way around this thing with the 10 millimeter. Okay, I've got all the bolts off. I'm just gonna... No, I don't. I forgot these back ones. All right, there it is. Quite a bit still in the pan there, and there is my filter. That metal thing with the square dripping out of it, that is the filter. All right, now the filter there's some bolts right here. Those are all 10 millimeter, and those just come off right there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 10 millimeters that need to come off of there. All right, there's the old filter. Now here's my new filter kit. I got it from Napa. This cost me about 40 bucks. It has a gasket and a new filter in it. I'm just gonna make sure that it matches up fine. Okay, we got a positive identification here. The new one matches the old one, so that's good. Let's check out the gasket. There's the gasket that goes with it too. It's an 18-hole gasket. Got the big hole in the back there, big hole right up front. That's a positive match. Looking good. Okay, here's the pan. Looks like I got some junk in there. Ooh, that's not good. Put that there. Who knows where that came from? Bunch of gunk on here. Look at all that. Bunch of sludge. Man. Some kind of magnet. That's what it is. It's a magnet. And those are all a bunch of metal particles on there. That's what's going on there. Bunch of byproduct down here. So I want to clean this all up really good. Get it all clean. Get rid of that. So that's what's happening. All the particles are sticking to that magnet. That's cool. Okay, I've taken some paper towels and just cleaned the inside of this really good as best as I could. Cleaned the magnet all up, got rid of any metal shavings on there. So now what I have to do is get this gasket off of here so I can put this gasket on. You can see it's kind of damaged here, so I'm gonna just take my time and try to get rid of this old gasket, get the surface all cleaned up. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just being real careful not to scar this surface up, and I'm just taking a little scraper and getting it off of there like that. Okay, I got that gasket off of there. Got the surface all cleaned up. Now we're going to put the other gasket on there. Okay, that's how that's going to go on there. But I'm going to set that aside now and go install this filter. There's the bottom of the transmission. And this is going to go out. So this little hole right here, that hole there, goes in that hole there. It'll almost stay up by itself. Save myself a little bit of time, grabbed a 10mm socket fitting here instead of just doing it manually. Okay, so I made sure the sealing surface was super clean here. Scraped it all down. Made sure I didn't mar it at all, creating any raised metal or anything on it. Now the trick is just going to be to keep this gasket in place. I'm going to put a little lube on here. I'm actually going to use, dip my finger in a little bit of transmission fluid, put it on both sides of the gasket, and put it on there. Get this around the whole thing. Okay, what I'm doing now is just taking the 10mm screws, the pan screws, and pushing them up through there, and they stick because these holes are slightly smaller, and they built it that way so you could keep the gasket in place while you're putting the pan back on. I'm just pushing them up in there, and it'll just hold around that thing. Push it up through there, and it'll stick like that. I was actually able to get all the fasteners pushed up through those holes. Let's go put it on. Now I'm going to go ahead and install this kind of in a star pattern. So I'm going to start over here on the right and just do crisscross. Alright, I got the pan fully installed. The directions call for about 10 to 12 pounds of torque on the bolts there. I just cranked them down hand tight, but not too tight. I don't want to twist them off of there. Okay, so now I need to put this thing on level ground. So what I'm going to do is just put it in neutral and push it off these ramps. That way I don't have to put it in gear without any fluid in it. Right now that I've got it on level ground, go ahead and pull this out and pull the dipstick out. Put the funnel in. So you can see where the marks are though, the diamond marks that are imprinted in the thing next to cold. We want our levels to be in there while we're filling this up because it's cold and we're on flat ground now. So I'm gonna just go ahead and add a couple quarts of the transmission fluid and I'll show you which kind I'm using. Use our small funnel there. Here's the transmission fluid that I'm using. This is what the guys at the auto parts store looked up for me and was the best use for this 98 Nissan Pathfinder. It's actually the Dextron III Mercon is what I used. So oddly enough, the guy at the auto parts store sold me 9 quarts of this, and he said that's what they recommend. Here goes number 2. There we go. It's reading just to the top of that mark there for cold. All right, this thing took 7 quarts exactly. Okay, here I am, first thing in the morning. It's cold outside. I'm gonna see if this thing works. Let it warm up for just a couple seconds, but it's been sitting all night cold. Let's just see if this thing works. I'm gonna pop it into gear now, just to see if it stalls out, see if this fixes the problem. Yep, imagine that. Now it goes. Yep, no problem. Yeah. Fixed it. All right, thanks for watching, you guys.